Yes. Well, okay. The last thing we read was this part when Beef thought of everybody having a part of the body to
Yes,
take care of, and he said that Alice took care of her hair. Mick touched her blouse not to show her nipples. And he asked, and with himself, what about him, no? What was his important part? And then, are you there?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes, okay. And then, Gabby, I don't know if you found the line. This is page
Yes.
22 in my edition. Okay.
It's
Uh,
29 in mine.
all right.
29. Yes.
So the interesting thing here is that when he thought of the which part of his body was important for himself, he touched his genitals.
Mm.
His hand in his pocket moved nervously toward his genitals. And this is, I mean, we can connect this with the awkward feeling that he experienced when he saw Mick. You remember when the girl entered the bar,
Yeah.
that he felt something strange. And now he mentions his genitals. And he says, he began whistling a song and got up from the table, funny to spot it in other people, though, no? And before he said, anyway, he knew what it was not. So there is something here in connection with his genitals and his sexual activity, let's say, no? Well, you remember that Singer had invited the drunk blonde to stay with him, no? So Beef was giving him some soup, some food, and then they were going to go to Singer's room.
A
Beef
mixed house. Mixed house.
Mick's house, because in fact Singer was staying at Mick's house, no? He was renting a room to Mick's family, to the Kellys.
It's like a boarding house. We
It
can say
is.
boarding house.
Exactly. It is. In fact, the reality was that it was their house, but they were now very poor. And so they had to rent the rooms.
Yes.
Ah, es como una pensión sería.
Claro, claro, una pensión hecha, digamos, en el
Inventada.
momento, claro.
Claro,
No,
sí,
no estaba
sí.
pensada para eso, pero bueno, tuvieron que. That's why Mick feels that her house is invaded, has been invaded by people, because it was not a boarding house originally. Now it is a boarding house because the parents have no money. So she feels invaded. No, she couldn't eat in the dining room. She has to eat in the kitchen. Well, many things that happen because the parents don't have money. And they are a lot. They are a lot of brothers and sisters.
They have to share the rooms, children, 3 or 4 by room.
That's right. So all this was what Mick was suffering in a way. Remember that she is an adolescent, no? For her, it is difficult. Well, we leave Biff thinking as usual, no? Thinking behind the counter, behind the cash register. And he had the feeling that he wanted to explain something to himself. He recalled the incidents in tedious detail and was still puzzled. Because he wants to understand, and Blunt was a very difficult person to understand. At the same time, we meet this Willie. Willie was a colored boy who
works at the kitchen.
Who works at the kitchen, no?
And he was the cousin of the doctor.
Not the cousin.
Not the cousin?
No. He was one of the doctor's children, together with the woman who works at the clinic.
Is the son of the doctor?
Yes.
Is the doctor's son.
Yes.
Why
And
I thought that it was the cousin.
he was lazy, he was young, and he liked to play the harmonica. Here he's only mentioned, no? But later on, this character will have a certain importance in the novel because of the question of racism and discrimination, no? Well, and when we abandon Biff, there are some sentences that are important. There was no noise or conversation, for each person seemed to be alone.
I mark that too.
Yeah, you mark
I
that?
underline that. Yes.
The mutual distrust between the men who were just awakened, because now it is the morning, and those who were ending a long night gave everyone a feeling of estrangement. So this feeling, no, of being alone, of being separated from the others, no, they are there in the same bar, but they're completely alone. A feeling of estrangement. And well, Alice is going to come now, and Biff goes up. She's looking at the Bible because Alice works at the parish. She teaches the children, no? She was preparing the weekly lesson for her class of boys in the junior department of her church. So she's reading a passage of the Bible because this is what she will do.
I hear something. I hear a noise.
Probably a noise coming
too.
from Claudia. Claudia
Maybe from Claudia. Claudia,
could be, yes.
do you have a noise around you?
Yes, she has. No,
No.
no. I don't know where the noise comes from. A ver.
Not here.
Now
No.
it has disappeared.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't touch anything, Inés.
No. It's okay, Teresa. Okay. So, Alice was preparing her class, yes? Biff went into the bathroom to wash himself. He waits for her to leave. So there is no communication between them. No, this is also a very unusual couple. When she gets
Yes,
up,
and they share the bed, but
at
in
different
different
times.
Claro, at different times. When
Claro,
she,
como se dice cama caliente, ¿no?
Cama
Cuando
caliente,
uno se
sí.
acuesta en la cama que deja el otro.
Yes, and this is also important, no? The question that when she's in the bed, he's in the bar. When she gets up, he goes to bed. So they are never together, no?
Yes, because during the day, Alice works in a bar.
Yes, she goes to the bar when Biff sleeps, no? So you see that they have very little communication, and when they communicate, they are not they are in disagreement, because remember that
Yes.
Alice was angry, yes, and she told Biff that he was a freak, that he likes the freak, and he is a freak too. Well, so
It's true, no?
well, it is true, yes. So Alice began dressing herself, and Biff made up the bed. He reversed the sheets in all possible ways, putting the top one on the bottom and turning them over and upside down. So he doesn't want to have any contact with Alice's skin.
They changed the...
Claro, he turns all the sheets from one side to the other. And when the bed was smoothly made, he waited until Alice had left the room before he slipped off his trousers and crawled inside. So you see, this is everything is unusual, no? He was glad he had not told Alice about what had happened to the drunk. He had wanted to talk to somebody about it, because maybe if he told all the facts out loud, he could put his finger on the thing that puzzled him. The poor son of a bitch, talking and talking and not ever getting anybody to understand what he meant, not knowing himself, most likely, and the way he gravitated around the deaf mute and picked him out and tried to make him a free present of everything in him. Why? So he's wondering about Blount, no?
Blount.
But he would like to talk to somebody, but not to Alice, not to Alice, no? Well, finally, Alice leaves. Biff stretched both of his arms outward and crossed his naked feet. His face was older in the morning light, with the closed, shrunken eyelids and the heavy iron-like beard on his cheeks and jaw. Gradually, his mouth softened and relaxed. The hard, yellow rays of the sun came in through the window so that the room was hot and bright. Biff turned wearily and covered his eyes with his hands. And he was nobody but Bartholomew, old Biff with 2 fists and a quick tongue, Mr. Brannon by himself. So, you see how he goes to sleep. He enters in this world of, waking and sleeping, and his mind is in a way overcome by the drunk, no, by this man. And he was Mr. Brannon. This is the way Alice called him. He was nobody. Bartholomew, old Biff, with 2 fists and a quick tongue, Mr. Brannon by himself. You see, he alone. All right. So we leave Biff.
Everyone is alone. All of them are
all of
alone.
them. All of them. No. Well, now we go to Mick. Mick wakes up very
For
early.
me, Mick is Carson McCullers.
Yes,
Me too.
yes.
Yes.
This girl that dresses like a boy, yes, and very courageous, and she likes music. Well,
Yeah,
there are
she
many,
dreams all the time, dreaming.
all the time dreaming, and she has a lot of points of contact with Carson McCullers.
Yes, yes.
And if you see the pictures of Carson McCullers I sent you, she was also rather boyish, no, with her short hair.
Yes, yes.
No? So the idea is that Mick is,
Here I have in my book.
well, there you
One.
are, you see.
It's the same
She has-
picture I have. Yes.
It's a normal, common girl, no?
Yes, but at the same time, a very young girl. She looks.
Yes, like an adolescent.
Yes, she has this look, no, of a very youngish girl.
Mm.
Well, she wakes up very early. The sun woke Mick early, although she had stayed out mighty late the night before, because we know that she has been to the bar, no? So she takes some ice water with syrup, cold biscuits. She stays in the kitchen for a while, and it is interesting to see that she had thought maybe Mr. Singer would be reading the paper on the porch like he did most Sunday mornings. But Mr. Singer was not there. And later on, her dad said he came in very late the night before and had company in his room. Well, now we know that the company is the Blount, no?
Blount.
She waited for Mr. Singer a long time. So again, we know that Singer had attracted the drunkard. And now that he has also attracted Mick, because Mick waited for him, yes?
Yes.
All the other boarders came down except him. Finally, she went back in the kitchen and took Ralph out of his high chair and put a clean dress on him and wiped off his face. Then when Bubber got home from Sunday school, she was ready to take the kids out. So she's a girl, she's an adolescent, but she has the responsibility of her 2 young brothers,
Younger brother.
Bubber
Brother and
and
sister,
Ralph.
no?
Yes, Ralph and Bubber. One is a baby. the other one is a toddler practically. He walks.
There are two boys,
Two boys,
no?
Yes.
two
Yes,
boys.
two
Mhm.
boys.
So she let Bubba ride in the wagon with Ralph because he was barefooted and the hot sidewalk burned his feet. She pulled the wagon for about 8 blocks until they came to the big new house that was being built. The ladder was still propped against the edge of the roof, and she screwed up nerve and began to climb. So, see, I mean, this girl is likes adventures because she goes to this house, which is, I mean, they are building the house. The house is not ready, alone, and she starts climbing the ladder. No,
Leaving the kids below,
yes,
alone.
and she and the two babies below. You mind Ralph, she called back to
Yeah.
Bubber. So the one who is 3 years old has to look after the baby.
Yeah.
I remember what she told her brother about the mosquitoes, so the
Yes.
mind the little boy so that they don't sit on their eyelids, on his
Yes.
eyelids. He said, so that
No, no.
I imagine the little boy staring at the little baby.
Baby. So, but what is, I mean, interesting or I mean, calls our attention is that she's along with the two little boys, and the mother doesn't appear. The mother, we don't know anything about the mother. The mother doesn't worry. No, she has the children. She has a lot of children because there are two sisters,
Yes.
a brother,
Yeah.
Mick, and these are the two. So they are 6 in all.
Yeah.
But
But
I mean,
they are very common at that time. I don't know now, but in general, everyone had the responsibility of the elders,
The
daughters,
younger.
the younger brothers and sisters,
the
claro.
younger brothers and sisters. Yes.
So this is, I mean, well, so she goes to the
But
to
is she
the
the
top.
oldest? No, I don't remember. No, I think she's not. Is she
Sorry,
the oldest?
what did you
Is
ask?
is she the eldest? No.
No,
No,
no.
No.
There are other three.
There are
I think that the sisters are
more
older
brothers and
than the
sisters,
brother.
siblings, more siblings, no?
Siblings. No, there are
Yeah.
two other girls who are older and the boy.
And because of the
And a boy,
competition,
and yes, 6. They are 6.
yes, I imagine that the two others were older
Yes,
than
they are
the
the
Yes,
three.
that's the reason because
She's the
they
one who
left
takes
me
care
in
of
charge
these
of
two.
the.
Yes. So, 5 minutes later, Mick stood up and held herself very straight. She spread out her arms like wings. This was the place where everybody wanted to stand, the very top. So she climbed up the ladder to the top of the roof, and she stands there like, like a hero. And this is the place where everybody wanted to stand, the very top, because Mick has dreams, as Alice said before. She's dreaming all the time, but dreaming of success and, I don't know, a wonderful future, no? So she goes to the top, but not many kids could do it. Most of them were scared, for if you lost grip and rolled off the edge, it would kill you, claro. All around were the roofs of other houses and the green tops of trees. On the other side of town were the church steeples and the smokestacks from the mills. The sky was bright blue and hot as fire. The sun made everything on the ground either dizzy, white, or black. She wanted to sing. All the songs she knew pushed up toward her throat, but there was no sound. One big boy who had got to the highest part of the roof last week let out a yell and then started hollering out a speech he had learned at high school. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Which is,
And here, Shakespeare, Julius Caesar.
yes, from Julius Caesar. The boy started reading repeating the speech that Mark Antony gives to the citizens when Brutus died. No, a beautiful speech. That's why I sent you the speech all complete, because it is nice to read it. Well, so there was something about getting to the very top that gave you a wild feeling and made you want to yell or sing or raise up your arms and fly. No, so she's there like in a kind of ecstasis. But well, obviously, when she's there, she hears the children, the little one crying. And so she has to look at the children, no? So she was by herself. No one was around, and it was quiet, and she could think for a while. Claro, this girl lives in a house full of people, no?
Yeah.
And she has to take care of the children. So she wants to be alone.
Of course.
She wants to
Yes.
think.
I agree with her.
Yes,
Yes, me too. That's the reason because she was outside the house during the night too.
yes, to be
Yes.
alone, to be alone.
Yes,
So,
but this is logic, no? With a
Right.
house with
And at
full,
that
full
age,
of
she was
people.
an adolescent. So that's the moment
Yeah,
when you want to be
just
inside
a
your
moment.
bedroom alone or with your friends,
yes,
not in
yes,
family, with
yes.
family
In
members.
general, adolescents go and stay alone in their bedroom, no?
Right, it's typical.
Typical, but this girl doesn't have a bedroom for herself.
That's why she
Mhm.
has to escape.
Yes. So, she takes the cigarettes and she
Yeah.
started smoking. But of course, the cigarette gave her a drunk feeling so that her head seemed heavy and loose on her shoulders. But she had to finish it because remember that she had not taken any breakfast. She took
Mm.
only some icy water. And now she's.
And cold biscuits. And cold biscuits.
That's right. And then she goes up the roof without any food practically, and she starts smoking. So, of course, she feels rather dizzy, no? MK, that was what she would have written on everything when she was 17 years old and very famous. So, now she's 13, but she imagines that she will be 17 and very famous. And she will have her initials on everything, no? She would ride back home in a red and white Packard automobile with her initials on the doors. She would have MAMK written in red on her handkerchief and underclothes. Maybe she would be a great inventor. So her dreams are fantastic, no? Because she dreams that she could be a great inventor and that she could invent flying machines, tiny radios, she would be the first one to make a tunnel through the world to China, So the ideas that she had are really fantastic, no?
She was right, because now I read that Elon Musk want to build a tunnel across the Atlantic.
Yeah.
So you
Across,
see,
no, under.
and under the Atlantic, like the one that
Yes.
we wanted to invent. So you see,